In class, we have learned about many different men who were important during the American Revolution. These men were very courageous and fought for our country's freedom from the British. Some of the men we learned about were George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Patrick Henry, and Benjamin Franklin. My project is to learn more about one of these men. I have chosen Benjamin Franklin because he was not only a revolutionary, but he was also a revolutionary thinker and inventor. If it weren't for Benjamin Franklin, we might not have all the cool stuff we have today. Benjamin Franklin was born in Boston, Massachusetts on January 17, 1706. That is over 300 years ago. Can you imagine what it must have been like to live back then? He was one of 10 children. I bet they had to share rooms. His father was a soap and candle maker, which was a very useful trade. Benjamin's oldest brother was a blacksmith, and another brother was a printer. Benjamin was a very smart little boy and went to school, but when he turned 10 years old, his father pulled him out of school so he could go apprentice for his brother the printer. Can you imagine not going to school after 5th grade and going out to get a job? I can't. Benjamin was a printer's apprentice, and he learned many things, but there was so much more he wanted to learn. So when he was 17, he ran away to Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. He found a job, and eventually he opened up his own print shop, started his own newspaper, and opened a little store. Then he got married to a girl named Debbie. They had 2 children together and were very happy. Now, one thing you should know about Benjamin Franklin is that he was always thinking. He was always thinking about ways he could improve Philadelphia. You will never believe the things he came up with. The first library, the fire department, Poor Richard's Almanac, and most importantly, the concept of electricity. Thank goodness he figured out electricity, or we could not have all the cool things we have today. You will never guess how he proved his concept of electricity. One stormy night, he attached a kite with a long pointed tip to a long string, and at the end he tied a metal key. He ran as fast as he could to get the kite in the air, and then lightning struck the tip of the kite and traveled down to the key that Benjamin Franklin was holding. It gave him the biggest jolt of electricity and helped him prove his theory that lightning and electricity were the same. Now don't try this at home because you aren't a trained professional and you could hurt yourself. After this, Benjamin Franklin became very famous. He was sent by the state of Pennsylvania to England. He loved England and made many friends. When the American colonies started to have problems with certain laws and taxes that the British government imposed on them, Benjamin did his best to try and fix the problems. He really wanted America and England to stay friends. But unfortunately, the King of England would not listen. Since England would not treat the colonies as a free country, Benjamin left England and came back to help the colonies. He joined the Continental Congress, which helped to govern the colonies, and he helped Thomas Jefferson write the Declaration of Independence. As we have learned, the Declaration of Independence was a revolutionary document that many countries have since tried to emulate. Lastly, it was decided that Benjamin would go to France and try and convince the French to help the colonies fight the British. Benjamin was so famous, and everyone in France loved him. As a result, he got the French to send monies, supplies, and soldiers to help the colonies in their fight against the British. When the colonists won the war and became an independent nation, Benjamin helped to write the peace treaty between the United States and England. Soon after, Benjamin returned home to Philadelphia. The people of the state elected him to represent them at the Constitutional Convention, where he helped to shape the Constitution. Many people wonder why Benjamin Franklin was never elected after George Washington or Thomas Jefferson to be president. He was very famous and people loved him. The truth is that he died on April 17, 1790 at the age of 84. That was very old back then. Benjamin Franklin was a brilliant inventor, politician, and businessman. He helped make our country what it is today. That is why I wanted to do my report on Benjamin Franklin.